Alright, my name is Christian Lopez. I'm going to tell you guys about the worst day of my life. It was some day in October 2000. Can't really remember the day, but anyway. The night before, I had hidden a pocket knife in my backpack. And the reason for that was because one of my friends had given it to me, and my mom knew I had it, so I hid it there because I knew she was never going to look in there. So that night I went to sleep, and then the next day I woke up. I had completely forgotten about it. Went to school, and that's when I remembered that I had this knife on me. And I didn't make too big a deal out of it because I didn't really think it was going to cause too much harm or anything like that. So, went to class, everything was normal. Everything was the same. Got in trouble by the teacher like always. Didn't do my homework. The teacher ended up screaming at me, and I hated this teacher. I hated her so much. I ended up going back to my seat after she yelled at me, and one of my friends had started talking to me about her, and we started talking about how much we hated her, and just usual stuff that little kids, how they hate their teachers. And after that, just started talking, and then I asked him. I told him actually that I had a knife on me, and he said that was cool. Then I asked him if he wanted to see it, and he said sure. So I told him during lunch, I'm gonna show you during lunch, and he goes okay. But after that, the conversation got a little more violent because he hated the teacher more than I did. So he started talking about if he had a knife, he'd like to cut her arm, and he'd like to watch her bleed and suffer. And I got a little uncomfortable with this conversation. I didn't really know what to do, so I kind of shook my head and gave him a little smirk. I didn't really know what to do. So after that, we just finished that conversation. Time passed by, bell rang. I reached in my backpack, grabbed the knife, put it in my pocket, and then went to the lunch table. So we were at the lunch table. We finished eating, and I asked him if he wanted to see the knife, and he said sure. But I noticed that one of the lunch ladies was walking down the aisle, so I told him to hold up. So the bell rang, and then we went to recess. And we walked it all the way to the end of the playground. And there was a soccer field by the end of the playground. So that's where we met up. I reached into my pocket, pulled out the knife. I showed it to him. I let him hold it. He thought it was pretty cool. Gave it back, and then he went his way. But right after that, one of the lunch ladies had called me over. And at this moment, I was terrified. I panicked, so I took the knife out of my pocket and I threw it in the trash can near me. And I walked towards her. And then she asked me what I had on me. And I told her I didn't have anything. So she checked me, and she didn't find anything. So after that, she went to the trash can that I was near. And the worst part about it was that there was no trash in that trash can. So she saw it right away, So she reached in there, got the knife, started walking towards me, and she grabbed me violently from the arm. Like if I had the knife and I was going to do something with it, But I didn't even have anything, and at this time my eyes just got really watery and teary. I felt like crying. I tried to hold it in. I did, and she was practically dragging me across the whole playground into the principal's office. And on the way over there, I noticed that a lot of my friends had seen me, and they were asking me what had happened. And I just couldn't speak. I couldn't speak because I was going to start crying. So we got to the principal's office, and the vice principal had asked me what had happened, but I didn't even want to talk. I was going to start crying. So one of the ladies had told me that they had found a knife on me and stuff like that, and he was disappointed in me, but he knew that my intentions weren't to cause any harm. So after that, the principal called me in, and he just started yelling at me right away. Started telling me that the consequences were this, and that I could get kicked out, and that the police were going to come and take my fingerprints, this, and that. And I was just crying at this point. I was just crying. So I called in 3 of my friends. 2 of them had no idea what was going on. The other one was the one that I had showed the knife to. And he started saying that I was the one that was saying that I was going to cut the teacher. And it made me look bad. So then they called in the police. They came in. They confiscated the knife. Took my fingerprints. They just gave me a warning. Nothing bad. They called my dad. They explained the whole situation to him. He got really mad, but after that, they had ended up suspending me for 2 weeks, and they that ended up expelling me at the end. This day was the worst day of my life because I thought I was going to lose all my friends, and plus I had a girl that I liked, so I thought I was going to lose her too. And that's the worst day.